All right, folks. We Boar's Nest live. Hey, Tim, you want to come up, Tim? Hey, Lynn, y'all want to come up? Let me see. I'm on shoot a little bull until Hog Leg comes up at 1 o'clock. I'm not dressed. Well, hell, just stop your cam when you come up. I don't remember if I even know how to do this. 4 a.m. comes early. I don't even know if I remember how to do this. I may have done it right. Hey, were y'all over there on the Doc Tales? I was hammering Jeremy, boy. I was giving him hell. Tim, I'm glad you got your sticker. I worried about that. You and Lisa both, because I sent Lisa's out early on. Yeah, well, he's a big Clemson fan, but the bad thing is he wanted one of my stickers, and he was in the first batch. And you should see the emails he sent me, but he never sent me his address. So I confronted him one night on a chat room. No, he was fishing. He and his brother and the girlfriend were fishing, and he didn't even know what town he lived in. And that's all the truth. He didn't know what town he lived in. Hey, Small Pepper. Here's a link up there, Johnny, if you want to come up here and eat some peppers, man. He knows it's the truth. I mean, I wasn't making anything up. He didn't. He couldn't remember what town he lived in and had no idea the zip code. But he's a Clemson fan, and that's pretty much standard for Clemson people. Hey, Johnny Small Pepper, last week or week before last, Mike T ate some kind of hot peanuts. I wish you'd been around to eat some of them and laugh at them. Well, I'm gonna put this thing back down and watch him. He did great, but he didn't do as good as you do. Lord, I never seen anybody do what you do. If anybody wants to come up here, Tim, if you want to come up, Johnny. Lynn's in the bed trying to get up, go to work in the morning. I'm just gonna buzz around a little bit till Boar's nest comes up, and then I'm probably going to bed. Yeah, I feel great, man. $16 million Capuchin crystals. No. Yeah, I feel good. I just look bad. I'm kind of like vagina. I feel good and I look bad. No, I feel fine. Well, I'm trying to get my sleeping habits back right so I can fish a little bit. Man, I tell you, stay up all night, you don't feel like doing much the next day. Especially when you're my age. God dang, man. It takes a while. It takes a while to get over it. But the river, I just don't care about fishing out there off the bank when that river's so high. And I really don't have a good place to fish with it so high. I don't do it all the time, Johnny. I just go in spurts. I go in spurts with it. And I put in a pretty good day Sunday afternoon and a pretty good day Monday out here in the yard. Thank goodness I got everything tended to before all them storms rolled through yesterday. And I got my corn fertilized and got all that covered up and got the good rain on it and got the rest of it tilled up and got it all in good shape for all that water we got. Man, we got some rain. I guess we got probably 3 inches, but thank goodness we didn't get any tornadoes. Lord, I don't ever want to be in one. Oh, golly, Johnny, I don't have acres. I got square feet. There's 43,560 square feet in an acre. And I ain't got that many. I ain't even got far. I ain't got that. I don't have an acre. Hold that, Tim. Y'all gonna be fishing Saturday night? Y'all gonna be fishing? No live Saturday. Chris Flores. Okay. Yes. All right. Well, good, man. I tell you, that boy can catch some flatheads. Because I'd like to see him fish the Mississippi River for flatheads. Hey, Don R. Boy, I was all with you today, Don R. You mentioned breeding all them damn, all them. I hate to say it, but all them sturgeons. I had to let you go then, man. You said a cuss word. You can't talk about You can't use the S word in the catfish community anymore. Just joking, Don. Just joking. Come on up here, Don. And we got the AARP group in here tonight. You got me and Don, and I think maybe Johnny. I ain't sure about Tim. Tim's still moving around pretty good, and Johnny's still eating them damn hot peppers. Don R's old Navy man he got rejected from the Army, so he had to join the Navy. Hey, Whiskers. Boy, I'm stirring the pot tonight. That Mountain Dew pullover anonymously so he wouldn't think he got a sponsor, so he would think he got a sponsor. That's great, man. Donna, I really enjoyed your wife on there. I didn't realize that she participated in your fishing habit like she did. That was good. Let's see now. How do I make that go up there? Uncle Don. Let's see now. How do I make that go up there? Uncle Don. Let's see now. How do I make that go up there?
There you
There
go.
he is. There he is. Hey, Don.
Hey, Steve.
Let's see now. Wait a minute now. Somebody's got something else open here. Hey, Don.
Hey, Steve.
Let's see now. Wait a minute now. Somebody's got something else open here. Hey, Don.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Somebody's got something else open here. Kill something, Don. I don't know what you got. I got you muted. All right, try it now.
How you doing, Steve?
There you go. Yeah, I enjoy it. Hey.
Yeah, that was first time for my wife to even get involved with it, so made me pretty happy. She
Yeah,
had a
she
time
did.
of her life. She thought that was the cat's meow.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it up till you started talking about breeding them sturgeon. I had to leave then because I figured that the next thing was going to be the 222 story.
No, I
But I
didn't.
came back. But I came back. I didn't say anything else, but I came back.
Boy, I tell you, my head was spinning. There were so many people in there and so many things. I probably missed 3/4 of them, but I was not at all what I expected. Way beyond what I expected. And
Really?
I kind of got a little frantic. And
You
even
got
my
over
wife said afterwards she was just kind of spinning from it all.
you got overwhelmed, huh?
Yes, I did. I
Well, I'll be dog. You don't appear to me to be the kind of fellow that would get overwhelmed.
years of experience not showing your emotions.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm, but yeah, I get my boat out of storage on April 1st, and I'm hoping to do a video on my boat. And this weekend, my wife's even she hasn't fished with me for a lot of years, but she even kind of got excited. My grandson called me and he talked for 45 minutes about how good the people were in chat,
There you go.
and he's
Great.
all
That's
pumped up
great.
to go catfishing this summer. So
That's great, man. Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
That's super great. That's even better than super great. That's wonderful.
well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your grandson and your wife. You know
mm,
that's good. That's good stuff right there, Don. I could tell she was getting into it. Yeah, she was getting into it, man. She liked it. Hey,
just
Bank,
a few minutes before I went live, I got back from my doctor's appointment, and they said I'm about uh, a few weeks ahead of what they expected.
okay.
But I've been working hard at it, and so I said, "Well, hey Banks, uh, I said, what about going fishing this weekend?" And they kind of said, "Well, it depends on how you fish." And so I won't. So the wife said, "Yeah, let's go out and see if we can just use a tiny bobber and a hook and catch some suckers and uh, creek chubs for bait for this summer." So,
Yeah.
but the only thing that'll stop me is the wind, and we got wind advisories out again today. So,
Well, now you in North or South Dakota?
North Dakota.
Well, when don't you have wind advisories?
That's a pretty good question. But I went out last Friday and took some clips of the river, and there were some spots open. A lot of it was froze solid. And
Yeah.
I went out yesterday, and the river's open, but there's big slabs of ice on the side that
Yeah,
hasn't
I
melted.
heard your description today in your live about it.
I'm a little leery about walking down the ice yet.
Oh hell no, man! You got. Hey, is Fargo, is that in North Dakota or South Dakota?
That's North Dakota, way
That's
eastern, right on the border.
yeah. I used to work with a boy from Fargo. Uh, I was in the ag chemical research business,
Yeah.
and he was a company rep out there in Fargo, a scientist. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know if Paul was a PhD or not, but anyway, he was the company rep in that area up there, and he was always trying to. He caught the Dickens trying to put out tests because of the wind. You know, when you're putting out those tests, you want them right there where they're supposed to go, and the wind was blowing. He had to go out there at daylight, before daylight, and at night, or
Right.
whenever the wind wasn't blowing. He might have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and go put a test out
Yeah,
because of the
that's
wind, and it blows the chemicals, and
yeah.
all that
Spraying
grain.
our crops, we had to do that a lot. Is get up real early in the morning before the wind came up and do all our spraying. Because
Did, did he use many helicopters out there?
not too much. They don't even use too much air. They're getting to use more, but pretty much it's still the big sprayers and
The ground rig.
ground. Yeah.
We are down here, rice. We don't have a problem with cotton, soybeans, corn, but rice because they
Yeah.
use a product that's a byproduct or 2,4-D offshoot of Agent Orange and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way back in the heck, I guess the late 50s is when they started using helicopters
Mm-hmm.
down here to spray the rice field because you can spray 2,4-D on rice. It kills the broadleaf and everything out there, and it doesn't drift. When there's no wind early in the morning, at that time of night. But you had to flag with you had to hold that's before GPS. You had to
Mm-hmm.
hold a flashlight for those helicopters fly from one end of the field to the other on. And you was out there walking in that knee deep water in that rice field at night
Yeah.
in the South, where cottonmouths, that's our state animal, them cottonmouth moccasins. And Lord have mercy, that was not a fun trip
No.
to flag for those helicopters early in the morning like that. Texas Tiger, after all that problem you gave me about, I don't know if you even welcome in here, boy.
uh,
Talking
you're
bad about my
you've
Mississippi.
been on a roll all day today, Steve.
No, I didn't. Well, I guess I did kind of start with you this afternoon, didn't I? With the 222. Yeah, but that 2,4-D, that was the only, we had to flag with those things, and they flew at night. That's the only time they could fly when there was no wind. And boy, that was a ticket. But yeah, I know y'all have a terrible wind problem up there.
Yeah, that's what's nice about being up the hatchery. We're right below the dam. And if it's windy, we can always get in the river. It's never that bad in the river, but I've seen that lake where you'd mistake it for an ocean. I mean, the breakers and
Yeah, oh yeah.
swells and stuff. And I've been out in them. And if you know what you're doing and you're being careful, it's not that big a deal. But there's people out there that they try to open them boats up and get on plane and just beat themselves to hell.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes slow and easy is the way to go.
As Creo wanted to know in your chat today, in your live today, if that was the same Red River that came in down there that he fished.
Yeah, I've heard it confused me for a while. They talked about their Red River, but
No, your
well,
Red River, yours is considered the Red River of the North. It flows up into Canada and then comes over and goes down into the Mississippi.
yeah, ours goes north and flows into the Hudson Bay. So it's one of the few rivers that flow
That
north.
does go north. That's right. Tim, I'll tell you a story if I ever meet you, and I probably never will, but I'll tell you how one of these days I can tell you how, uh, what am I trying to say? How beneficial DDT is to humans and wildlife, and how the government sold you, us, and the public a bill of goods on DDT.
Yep.
You would not believe the information I can provide you on DDT. You
Yeah, it's,
won't believe it, and you don't won't believe this that you can buy DDT today in a different formulation.
yeah, it did so much damage with rodents and birds of prey and stuff like that. But it's coming back a little bit. But the creeks we have and stuff from all the fertilizer and everything they're pouring on nowadays, there's so many weeds in the or grass in the creeks that you can't hardly see water anymore.
Well, the fella, and this is my live stream, so I'm just gonna put it out here since it's my live stream. In Europe, they have a rule or a law that if you are a chemist, you get paid. This is pre World War II all the way through to today. If you are a chemist and you can come up with a product that, let's say, it kills fleas, all right. If that chemical ever makes it to the market, and now you remember that this chemist that's doing this makes a
I
minimum. This chemist makes a minimal salary, but if his product ever gets to the market, then it's sold, he gets a percentage of every ounce or pound or whatever teaspoon
Mhm.
of that product that's ever sold forever, and his family gets it forever and ever. If it just kills fleas, it don't matter what it kills. So now
Yep.
this is where I make a mistake. I don't remember if he was a Swiss or Austrian. It's Seba and Geigy, and one company was Swiss and one company was Austrian. I think that's right. The chemist that came up with DDT, when the U.S. started trying to outlaw it, this chemist came to the United States. There is or there are videos of him, and you can look it up, of him taking a teaspoon of DDT and stirring it up in a glass of water and drinking it. Straight DDT right out of the sack. DDT right out of the sack. Now, the reason I know it's not a joke is because from 1956 to 1964, 65, no telling how many pounds I got sprayed of DDT walking at the end of the cotton rows holding a flag so the airplane could see me. Now, the government claimed, and some of the tree huggers, the early day tree huggers, the early day hippies, claimed that it made eggshells of these birds thin, and it was hurting the bald damn eagle. And I'll call it the bald damn eagle because it's going. There are young people that'll maybe one day see this live stream and realize that an eagle is going to become a nuisance bird in the United States. The national bird should have been a wild turkey. It should
Yeah,
never have been
I
a
agree.
bald eagle. A bald eagle is nothing but
They're a scavenger.
a rape of nature. That's what a bald eagle is. They're down here now so thick that the catfish farmers can't even raise the catfish because the bald eagles getting all the catfish out of the pond. They're worse than a cormorant.
Yeah,
Um,
but same. Uh, we have a lot of bald eagles here, but when I was up on Aleutian Islands, the bald eagles, they were as thick as you could believe out in all the dumps. They just were scavengers and dumpsters, and that's where you'd find most of them.
Tiger, Texas tiger. Yes, sir. That's what they claimed. That's what they claimed, and their proof was look at the uh the deletion or the depletion of the quail population in the South. That's where the DDT was used in the South. And they said, look at the no more the quail. They can't find quail. They can't find quail. They failed to say that when the mules, when in 1950, in the early 1950s, when the mules left the South, and
Yeah.
they started tearing down all of the hedgerows and doing away with the pastures. And look, this is when I was a little boy now. This is when I was a little boy. When they started taking the hedgerows and taking the fences up and took the mules and sold them to make glue out of. Well, where the quails live, they live on the ground. A
Hmm.
quail never learned, they have not evolved to go in a tree. The mourning dove learned to go in a tree. They have been learning to go in a tree, and they are way ahead of the quail because they were already in trees when they started tearing the fence rows down. We are overrun with doves in the South,
Yeah.
overrun with doves in South America, overrun with doves in Texas.
Now we got those equation doves that are just
Well, they
wiping all the
brought in
mourning doves
the
out.
Eurasian dove and the goofball quail. The reason the population of quail left because they didn't have enough sense to go build a nest in the tree.
Yeah, Tigger's got a good point. The feral cats. Uh,
What about red ants? What about fire ants? What about
yeah,
cows?
and when
Nobody
I
wants to
grew up,
talk about any of that.
when you and I grew up, the farmers were very conscious of being stewards of the land, and they were
Always
very
have been.
conscious of leaving stuff for the wildlife. Hi, Valerie. And nowadays, they're tearing all the tree rows out and planting all the way up to the roads, the section lines, and everything, and they're not leaving nothing for a bird to nest in anymore. Plus, they come in and they work their fields in a couple minutes with those 40, 50-foot wide machines. So they're not there long enough to see what's there. Well, the coons and the skunks and everything are, you look at all the empty homesteads, and there used to be boys on all those homesteads, and they kept the coons and stuff in check. But now they just tear up all your ground nesters.
Well, look, Don, you talking about coons. You talking about the cats. You talking about all of the other ground nesters. The animals that are destroying them. Well, you can thank the tree huggers for taking away the fur industry.
Mm.
That used to, there were thousands of people out there trapping
Yep,
and hunting with dogs that took care of the fur industry. And that
yep.
took care of the ground nesters. But the tree huggers, look now, this government that we are living under is well, I don't, we're supposed to be talking about catfishing.
Hey, catfish regulators. Yeah, we've been having a lot of sights of uh, cougars in the area and fishers, which are like next smaller to lose my mind.
Otter,
But anyway, the reason they are is because there's none of these homesteads all around that used to keep all that in check. And I'm afraid, our fisheries the last thing we got to hang on to. But we have no partridge around anymore. We have very few prairie chickens. They came in and stocked a lot of pheasants, but they got hit with a hailstorm a few years ago and pretty much wiped them all out. But it is so nice to go. I went for a drive the other day and I seen probably thousands of geese, but I also seen a lot of groups of turkeys. And there's nothing I enjoy more is seeing those big old turkeys out there all fluffed up and strutting their strut. But
Well,
yeah, it's a fine line.
Tiger, you go to Texas, they got plenty of damn quail in Texas.
Yeah.
They'll run your windshield in the morning trying to go to work.
Yeah, we don't have our bird population is just really bad right now.
Don, you're going to keep them entertained. I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Hey, it's my show now. We can talk about anything you guys want. Tim, you said something earlier that I was going to get back to and didn't. Can't remember what it was, but hi, Tigger, Tim, Valerie, all you guys, catfish regulators. Uh, I've had a fantastic day. I first day I ever got my wife interested in YouTube, and we did a live, and we had a great time, and it just went far beyond any of my expectations of what it was going to be. But stressed out on it for a few days. But I love being in the outdoors. The popping noise. Yeah, it's I work at the hatchery during the summer, and I've really gotten to see what man I stand what man has did to our fisheries, and it's not that it can't be improved, but when it comes to catfish, the biggest problem we have on the Missouri River is they don't recognize them as game fish, so they won't do anything about them. But the blue catfish are native to the river up here, and director that retired last year was trying to get them in a thing where they'd reintroduce them to our area up here. Hey, Chuck.
CP, man,
And
it's pretty nice. We got, I think it was in 2019, we got indoor plumbing. And it's nice not to have to go outside when it's kind of cold at night.
yeah,
I'm in Mississippi, and everything we slow down here. Things come slow.
we ice up too much of the year. And I'm getting to the age ice and cold weather just don't agree with me anymore as much. Never bothered me as a kid. 20, 30 below, I'd go out, I'd be fishing. And
CP, CP, I expect you to come on up here with me, bud.
yeah,
We got about we got about
somebody
30.
come up. I'm tired of looking at myself.
What am I supposed to do here? Oh, there
There
we
you
are.
go.
Come on up, CP. That's my partner right there. That's my partner in crime, Chuck's cornering. Come on up, man. This is my live stream. This ain't no Google shots or whatever that is you scared of. Hey, Valerie. Come on up, bud. It's like me sitting and you talking, and this fella here is from North Dakota, and he don't even know how to run a computer.
You're right. There's a lot of people that come up while they're in bed. I tell you,
Oh,
that's
he's
what's
in bed.
nice about it is everybody just comes as you are, and you don't have to do anything special for it.
Damn, Valerie's even calling me sexy Steve. Where does that come from?
Yeah, Tigger, I remember the outhouse. We always had a toilet seat, and in the winter we'd hang it above the stove. So you'd grab the toilet seat and run out to the outhouse. At least you had something warm to sit on. But if you forgot it, boy, I'll tell you, those boards get pretty cold.
Don, I saw a 3-holer one time.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of 2-holers.
yeah.
You got to listen to this story. But I used to go up starting in 1967. I know it did, but started in 1967. I took my first trip up from the Mississippi River up the White River into Arkansas by boat and camping. And the, the guy that was with me, I was a teenager, and we were riding up the river and got to this town, and we had stopped and we bought gas and carried gas, and that's a different story. But we were about 90 miles from the Mississippi River up the White River in Arkansas, just riding and looking. That's what we were doing, riding and looking. And we came out of the Arkansas River Delta, I guess you call it, and got into the base of the hills right before. I guess it's Crawler's Ridge. I don't. That's all his geographical names down here. But anyhow, up on the bluff, way up high, above the river, there was a outhouse about to fall in the river, and it had three. It was a 3-holer. And I said, Dennis, I said, look, and we looking almost straight up, and it was a 3-holer outhouse. And in the 7 or 8 months of next year, when I went back up, it wasn't there. It had fallen on in the river. You know, it was erosion, but I never seen. I've seen lots and lots of 2-holers, and
Yeah.
no telling how many 1-holers. But that's the only 3-holer I ever saw. And I'm looking at it from the water, so I don't know. I can't imagine what was up there to have a 3-holer. It is either a big church or a big house or it's a big something because it was a 3-holer.
Hi, Annette. Yeah, it was.
Hey, Annette.
It was always nice. The right after they moved the outhouse to another location, and sometimes it was nice if they wouldn't wait so long to do it.
Well, all I can tell you about it is all of them I ever had to use, they smell like hell.
Yeah,
Hey,
especially on
Chucky,
a warm day.
I don't care how deep they dug them, they all smell like hell.
Hey,
I,
Chucky. Yeah, it was. It was a time of my life. We'd we'd have to go down behind the barn and pump water and bring it up to the house. I hated that.
yeah,
It was a
Tex,
long haul back up that hill when you got 2 pails of water. You're trucking up the hill.
yeah, there you go, Texas Tiger. Now they're digging them for bottles and getting good bottles out of them. But down here where I live, down here where I live, I ain't digging in them for bottles. I can go down on the ditch bank and dig some good bottles. I ain't digging in no outhouse for bottles. Not down here.
Yeah, we had a little creek, and I'd say every chance I got, I'd get a little time off. You know how farming is, so you don't get much time off. And then when they came out with daylight savings time, you even got an hour less a day because you still got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you worked till dark. So you just ended up working an hour longer in the summer. But I'd always run down to the creek and throw a line of some time, type in there and do a little fishing and look for snapping turtles.
Hey, Dale,
Dale,
and it.
we used to have a lot of clams in the river back then, and last time I was out there and messed around, I didn't see much for clams at all. I don't know if they're still there or not. And
Is it a dam above you?
no, we were on the Knife River, and there was no dams around. It runs into the Missouri, and there's no dams on that river at all. But by the time it got to us, it wasn't real big. But as kids, we used to go out and catch some 9 inch, 10 inch perch and some small walleyes and stuff out of that river that migrated their way up from the Missouri River.
Yeah, gooses. Tim and Lena had to outrun a goose to go take a dump.
Yeah, we used to have raise some geese and they'd go down the river and those old snapping turtles, they'd come up and grab them by the leg and pull them under and out of a hatch for the geese, we'd be lucky if we had two, three left by the end of the year. But we caught a lot of bullheads out of the river mostly, and a few channel cats. But we could go down there and practically throw a bare hook in there, and we catch something. And so I'd take my little tin can out of my back pocket, and I usually had some line, and it was one of those tin cans where you put your hook. Hey, Melissa, and tie a hook on and maybe use a rock for a weight. And if there was a little piece of wood I'd tie it on for a float. And we always had grasshoppers and crickets as you're walking down, so I'd catch them and put them on, and it was pretty live action. Once in a while, we'd hook into a carp that would excite us.
Valerie, you sure it was? You sure it was lie or something else? You positive it was lie? I think they I'm trying to think what it was.
Stan. Thanks, Melissa. I'm
What
glad
was it?
you were there. You were my safety shield.
Trying to think of what they used to put. Uh, was it lie? It wasn't lie, was it?
I'm not sure. We didn't do anything.
Lime.
Lime,
What it
lime.
was, it
You're
was
right.
lime. Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew
that
it was.
would break it all down a lot faster.
Yeah, it was lime. That's what it was, CP. It was lime. You put lime in the hole. Lime might give you a bikini cut. Yeah, it was lime. That's what, man, my mind went blank.
Yeah, that was used a lot to break down clay and stuff, and we're good break down stuff.
Yeah, it was lime. And lime give you a bikini cut, Valerie Irvin.
Be
Swing.
right back.
Yeah. There you go, CP. Appreciate it, man. Ooh, it was lying.
Yeah, we had an old draft horse. I think it was a Percheron. But God, 5, 6 of us kids would get up and ride that damn horse around. Sometimes we'd get in trouble because we'd ride it so much, and they'd come to get him, and he was all pooped out for the day.
You know, out there where you live, y'all was still farming mules and horses and all that when we had tractors back here.
Yep.
Uh, y'all's history is, of course, you all got some of the trails and all that went out across there, but that was way later than the history back here in the east.
Yeah, we never seen too many mules, but we used a lot of horses and for especially for haying season, we used a lot of horses for cutting and raking hay, and then pulling the hay wagons around.
Yeah, the mules and all that went out here in the early 50s,
Yeah,
1950s, and I'm sure y'all were still out in out that way. Of course, now a lot of that area was using steam tractors in that area.
mhm.
That
We had very few of those. Yeah,
but
we probably raked hay with our horses up until, trying to think back, probably mid 60s
yeah,
before we actually got away. And we used our quarter horses. We always harness trained them, and so we'd use them to chase cows and do all that. But we'd also throw the harness on them. Especially in the winter, we always used the sleigh and everything to feed with.
hey Jim, yeah, I went to a
That's all right,
museum.
Blue Line.
I went to an agricultural museum in that gum in Montrose, Colorado, where just
Hmm.
south of you. Not
Been there.
yeah, I got a good friend that's got a whirlpool uh, dealership there. But anyway, went in there to that museum, and they had stuff in that museum that I found with my metal detector that here in Mississippi that they got on display there. I thought that was pretty strange. And
Hmm.
I was looking at all that stuff and everything they had there, stuff I remembered when I was a little boy. Some of it, not all of
Mhm.
it, but some of it. Of us using here, like the old things that uh, the patches where you used to patch a rubber tire
Mhm.
you, where you screw the patch down and it
Right.
smelled and it smelled so good. Man, that was the greatest smell in the world. I love that smell. And they had that on display as an antique. I said, well, hell, wow. I remember seeing people using all that hot patches they call them
Yep.
for
Then
tires.
they went to the ones where you'd put the patch on and then you'd light it. It had a
Yeah.
metal edge and you'd light it and it'd
Right,
burn and
right. And
yeah.
I said, hell, I remember all of that when I was seeing, and it smelled, boy, that was the best odor in the world. But anyway, I thought to myself, and that's what brought me to the realization that, it's a certain part of the United States that their history is really new
Mm-hmm.
compared to the eastern part. And the further east you go, the the older the history.
That's what I realized. If you get over 100 years here in North Dakota, that's pretty old.
That's pretty old.
But
Yeah.
when I was living in Suffolk, Virginia, it was like 300 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they digging up stuff from colonial stuff, pre-colonial.
you are a young blue line. There's Coyote. Yeah, it was a good time though. You I can't
Right?
say I regretted it at all. I loved farming and I was going to continue on with it, but things just didn't work out for me. Um, so I joined
Jim,
the Navy, but I
Jim, you
wanted
are
to
a young guy.
join the Navy, do my 20 years, and come back and farm. And when I came back here, it was like I don't even recognize the same type of farming anymore.
I don't know about DDT bass and glue sniffing. I never sniffed glue, and I don't. I guess I did take a few DDT baths,
Yeah,
but
here they were 75 years old, 100 years old. Oh, that's really an old antique. And then I would go to, when I was in Virginia, and I'd go to these auction sales. That's not very old.
no.
But I had the unfortunate pleasure of, I bought a scale, like a really precise scale. You had the slide up windows and I had it here, and the shelf I have had it on gave way, and it busted it up, and I was so disappointed because I was so proud of that scale. You could measure down to a gnat's butt with it.
Yeah, Tiger, that I don't know if that was rubber cement. Hell, I don't remember what it was, but it was like a firecracker went off when they put that tube up on that vise and it ran that claw clamp down on it and set a match to it. I used to love that smell.
I can't say I liked it. I don't really
Oh, I
remember it that
did. I
much.
loved it, man. I love the way it smelled when it was burning.
Yeah, I remember trying to break those tires loose and get to it. It had a
I,
pry bar and a hammer, and you beat on them and beat on them, and
look, look here, Don. Just Monday, I was getting my lawnmower ready, to go for the summer, and I got a Susquehanna, whatever you said.
Husqvarna. Yeah.
And I had a back tire on it that was bad, and I and when I started to air them up, the valve stem was broken in it. So I took that. I finally figured out how to get the tire off, and instead of carrying it to one of these fast places up here that these tire services, there's an old place here in Greenville where I live. That they've been breaking tires and making tires and fixing tires since back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to carry this tire over there, because if anybody can break his tire and fix his tire and not mess my tire up, what little tire, I figured the tire was ruined. But anyhow, I carried this tire over it, and this is the grandchildren of the people that were here when I moved to this town.
Mm-hmm.
I carried this tire out there, and I said, man, I got a tire that I need a valve stem in. Said, we ain't got any valve stems. I said, I got the valve stem for it in my pocket. I had gone and bought some a valve stem. And yeah, we can fix it. I said, y'all take credit cards? I said, no, we do all cash. I said, well, how much y'all have to hold my tire while I go back home and get some money, because all I got is a credit card. So the young fella got my tire, and he popped that tire, and he carried it over there, and he popped that tire down, and he hit it with that tool, with that plunger tool, that I don't know what you call it, but anyway. I said, how much is it going to cost? He said, it's going to be $5. And I said, well, I'm going to have to go back. You hold my tire, and I'm going to go back home and get some cash and come back, since y'all don't take credit cards. So I went back and got in my truck to go back to town, go back home. And I said, hey, let me look at my wallet. And I had $3. I had three $1 bills in my wallet. And I got the console there on the truck, picked up, and I had a bunch of quarters. So I got three more quarters, $3 worth of quarters. I had $6 worth of quarters. I mean, $3 worth of quarters and $3 worth of $1 bills. And when I walked back over there to him, he already had that tire aired up. And it was just a matter of 30 feet from my truck, from him to my truck to back, and he had the tire fixed in that quick. That's how. And so I gave him $6, and I said, man, here's $1 tip for doing it so quick. And I could not believe how quick those guys that really want to work, that really want to do, and they had my tire fixed, and now I'm back mowing yards again, mowing my yard. So
Later, Melissa. Yeah, it's you don't get a tire fixed anymore if they can't just throw a plug in it. They're lost.
yeah, this guy fixed that tire and was tickled to death to do it, and I don't really believe that he would have made me leave my tire there till I went and got the money back there to him. But he had that tire fixed before I could even spin around, turn around, and jump up and down twice.
Hey, fat boy.
Hey, look here, Don. We're gonna have to leave because it's 12:50. It's almost time for
Hog leg.
hog leg gonna be up.
Yeah, I think that's why Melissa left. So Well, Steve, thank you for having me up. I
But I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you
I
coming up,
enjoy
man.
chewing the fat with you.
There you go. That's what it's about. Chewing the
So
fat.
we'll
Look
catch you
here,
later
man.
on.
I cooked some pork chops yesterday. I smoked some pork chops. And very don't a lot of people don't smoke pork chops, but I do. Uh, man, I tell you what, they were out of this world. I love to smoke pork chops, and the thinner the better. A lot of people like that old big thick meat, but I like to thick that. I like to smoke that smoke thin pork chops where they get that wood flavor all the way through them.
Yep.
And Kay and I hurt ourselves eating.
Long and slow, it seems like anything you cook that way turns out good.
That's where it's supposed to be done. It's slow and low, just like a golf
And
swing.
they end up being
Slow and
so
low.
tender
There you
and
go.
flavorful and not dried out.
Find a good wood.
Yep.
All right, man. Thank you, Don.
All right, Steve, you have a good night.
Thank everybody else for showing up.